All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday, February 25th Working Group Component Standard Office Hours. This is our hour for folks to come by, ask questions, get help with what they're working on. Looks like we got two folks today. Welcome, Savita and Tasin. How are you?
Hi, Mike. How are you?
Doing well.
Fine.
Hi, Tasin. Hi, Mike. I'm doing good. How about you?
Good. What can I help you guys with?
So, I started migrating the volume plugin directory flag, and I got to an extent where I troubleshooted. I created a work in progress PR, and then there were some issues. I troubleshooted it, but this last test fails. So I'm gonna paste a PR in the chat. So the last test fails. I think it's end-to-end GC conformance, and I'm not able to figure out what is causing it to fail. So if
Big one. If everything else passes,
is something that you have seen,
I would just rerun it.
okay.
Yeah, I think it's probably just a test fake.
Okay.
Yeah.
So because there have been some flakiness between the end-to-end GKE test, even in the release cycle that's happening. I'm not sure if it's something I couldn't figure out. So it is failing with some. Let me just quickly see. I saw the error. I don't remember out of. So it's failing when it is trying to create a log directory or something of that file sort. It had multiple different things.
Yeah, I would
actually point.
The test for the work you're doing specifically, the tests I would pay the most attention to would be like the Node EDE tests. And like just generally the tests that will always fail if like something, is wrong, or like the build or the unit tests or the integration tests. So I'd focus on those first, and then, if you see a test failure, try rerunning the tests outside of that.
So I will. Perfect. So I'm gonna rerun this, and then we'll see how that goes, because everything else passed. And if that sounds good, if it still doesn't work, I'll ping you in Slack, and we'll see what we have to do. I think I have migrated. I have modified all the files necessary, added validation, stuff like that. But if you get some time and if you can take a look at it, it would be great. Whenever you get some time. And I did copy you and Lee, but for some reason it removed you from the reviewers. And I also wanted to ask one more thing. What priority label should I add?
What labels should you add?
Yeah, for the priority, or like
it's
missing the priority, I think.
I would do important long term for this. I can do that.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'll take a look at that hopefully sometime this week.
Perfect.
So the one thing I can say is you can sync up with the master and try to run again, because in my case, yes, sometimes happen is, and then what I do is sync up with master and try to run again, and they pass.
Okay.
So
that's a great pointer. I will rebase again, and I will try to run it.
Yeah, that's a great pointer as well.
Thank you.
Awesome.
And I'm gonna put. So edit the. So you remember the initial file documentation that we gave out during the start of the mentorship? Probably I'm gonna add all these things like I had some time with Bazel testing. So I'm gonna just, if you don't mind, I'm gonna add those blocks there so that whoever wants to pick it up later.
Okay, sure, sounds good. In which document?
There was this document. Sorry, it's not here. I think I sent it to someone in Slack who pinged me. So there was this detailed description on how to migrate and kubelet flag. There was a pointer document, like step by step. Doesn't have how to test it though. Like once you migrate, what are the validation tests that you can run on your side? So if you don't
Got it.
mind,
Yeah, that's
I would
awesome.
just
Yep.
put,
Thank
if
you.
it's
Please add that.
not
Yeah.
appropriate, then I won't put it there. Okay,
Yep, that's perfect.
perfect.
Please add that. Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome. Thank you. Is that everything you had?
Yes, that's everything that I had. I finally got to create this, so I'm super excited and psyched. So after I go home, I'm gonna rebase like Qasim said, and I'll rerun the test, and then I'll keep you guys posted.
Yeah, me too. Awesome. Very excited as well. So, Tasin, did you have something?
I'm actually waiting for a review on the PR for kubelet config tests. And so what do you suggest after, what should I work on next? Do you have anything?
So let's talk about the PR review first. I want to look more deeply at this thing you had to add to get the test to pass, because it just seems goofy that we would have to add something to the staging rules for a PR that only adds a test.
Oh, I mean, so the code freeze already happening now?
I think it's March 5th.
Yeah, code
okay.
freeze is on March 5th.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'd like to get this test merged this week. I think the PR overall looks good because, I mean, we've already reviewed the same format several times before, right? With your other work. So I think this is fine, but we need to figure out why the publishing rules and import restrictions YAML had to change for this PR. Like, it's confusing to me that those changes wouldn't have already been in there if you rebased, if they're required for the test to pass.
Okay.
So yeah. See if you can track that down, like where those are coming from.
Okay. So basically, I added it because the tests were failing, and in the logs it was saying that please add client go to publishing mode. So then I added and the test passed.
Yeah, the reason that is, I understand that. The reason that I don't expect the change in this PR is because if that is actually a requirement, it would be affecting many PRs, right?
Okay.
So I would guess that either this would have been fixed upstream, or we changed something in here that unexpectedly added that requirement.
Okay.
I don't.
So can you?
Maybe it was the the Go mod change. That's listed in here.
Okay, I will then take a look at
Yeah,
that
and
and
it may be like it may be that it's needed for this PR. But what I would do is I would go on head if those changes are not on head, and see if you can get the test to pass that was failing, which I think was, you said it was the verify test, right?
yes, yes.
Yeah,
It
so
is
go
very
on, just check out a clean branch and see if you can get it to pass, and then run run like the update vendor script to see if there's any like Go module changes that need to get made. You also need to make sure your Go version's on 1.13 for developing on head.
Okay.
So check those things and see if that turns anything up. Yeah, feel free to
Okay.
ping me too, like as you're working through it, so that we don't like spend time just waiting for emails to get processed.
Okay. Yes. So yes. So I will take a look at that and let you know.
Cool. And then as
So
far as like
do
what
you
to
know
work on
why
next,
this is?
go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, I was saying why it is complaining the publishing bot thing. I mean, so I don't have the context here, so can you?
Sure. The publishing bot. Where's the publishing bot? This is on the same PR.
Yes,
The only robot I see on there is the CI bot, which is just.
Oh, no. I mean, let me. I send the link on the chat.
Oh, sure. Okay. This is the verify test that failed.
Yes, yes.
It looks like it's just panicking on something. I'm not sure why.
I mean, in the last line, please add client Go as a dependency under.
Oh, I need to open the raw version because this doesn't have the line. Oh, verify publishing bot. Okay. Interesting. That's a surprising error because Qubit already relies heavily on client Go. So I would want to investigate whether this same error would occur on a clean branch. It probably doesn't because other tests are passing on other people's PRs, but it's confusing that we suddenly have that requirement with this PR. So I'd want to figure out like what change we made. To Qubit suddenly added this requirement. And it may be that it just showed up because the part of the kubelet that we export, which is the APIs, is now depending on component base when it wasn't before. So it may be this PR. I would just want to confirm. So I can take some time to take a look at that later this week. But if you'd like to do it sooner, that'd be helpful.
Okay, sure. So I will sync with start from clean master and see if it happens again.
Yeah, that's the first thing I would try, just to get a good baseline. And if it doesn't happen there, then you can just run the same test locally.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it should be one of the hack/scripts. Let me find it.
Is it the make verify command?
Yeah, that will run all of them. I want to see. I think if you do, looks like hack. Verify publishing bot.py. I'll put it in the chat.
Okay. Okay.
So try that and see if that works. I think the other thing you wanted to talk about is like what to work on next, right?
Yes.
So like, what do you want to work on?
So far I worked on kubelet config and kube proxy config and kubelet configs, and so what should be the next component that should be worked on? I mean,
so those are the two ones that currently like expose beta component config APIs. I think you could add tests. I guess kubeproxy is alpha. Kube controller managers still has a lot of work before it's even going to be ready to add your tests to it. Okay. If you want to work on that, like you could talk to Abitek about how to kind of integrate with his efforts there. I think, you might it depends on what you want to do. If you want to continue adding the same tests to other components, some of which aren't really ready yet. You could kind of switch over to working on the flag migration efforts to move those along. And again, you can either, there's options in Kube Controller Manager to help Opitech with that work. You could help Savita with the kubelet work. There is work to do on the scheduler as well. If you want to look at that effort. So you have a lot of options. I'm kind of curious what interests you the most, whether you want something more open-ended or something a little more structured.
Okay. Okay.
So,
okay. So, yes, so I will take a look at everyone's work and yes, see which.
Yeah, because we're making some progress in all of those areas, but I think pretty much everybody could use help. So it's really kind of your choice. What you're most interested in working on.
Okay.
Like the best incentive I can offer you is that it's something you enjoy. So.
Yes. Okay. So our main main priority initially was do the flag to config migration, right?
Yes, it's still our main priority until it's done.
Okay. Yeah. So I can work on that the migration. But what is the current status of it? I mean, I know Savita has been working on kubelet migration, kubelet flag migration, but
so the PR we were just talking about is like her first flag migration PR. So mostly folks have just been getting ramped up on what needs to be done. Savita has a list in a GitHub issue of all of the flags that need to be migrated. And then the PR she just posted is the, I believe it's the volume plugin dir migration. Let me see if I can find the overall issue here. So that's the issue where she's tracking all the flags on the kubelet that still need to migrate. So if you wanted to pick one of those and kind of reference the instructions that we sent out earlier in the mentorship program to see if you can make some progress there, that might be a good place to start. That's a little bit of a more structured area where we have a better understanding of what's necessary. So it might be easier for you to get started there.
Okay, good. Okay, thanks, Mike.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, so I will check why the verify is failing, and then yes. Okay. Thank you, Mike.
Yep, and then feel free to let Savita know if you're interested in working on that with her. I think it would be good to have multiple people working on that.
Okay. Hello.
Hey.
Hey. So yes, I was running the hack publish the hack verify publishing bot script revised my PR with master, but it is again complaining that add client go and add component based to the kubelet dependencies.
Okay. Might be adding the component base to the API subdirectory that did it. I'm gonna ask Jordan whether it's okay.
Okay, is it because my tests are calling component base and component base depends on client go? So
That's what I think it is. Dependency. Because the rest of the kubelet doesn't get published. And I don't think kubeproxy gets published right now. So this might be just the first time that we added this dependency to staging. Stefan as well, he might know that. Feel free to ping Jordan also if he doesn't reply within like a couple days. But I think that's the only thing to resolve. I think otherwise your PR is good. So I commented on it and tagged Jordan to take a look. I don't think it's going to be a big problem. Sound good?
okay. Yes, thanks, Mike.
Okay, thanks folks. I'm going to drop off the meeting now. See you all next week.